Hello and welcome to this video where we are going to be writing our very first program in the next 5 minutes. So that's pretty exciting, right? Now, for us to write this program, we can do it in any kind of browser window as long as you're on your actual computer. You won't be able to follow along with this video from a phone or a tablet, but you could watch this just to see how it all works. So with that said, I'm going to open my browser window up, and I'm actually on my website just because inside of the console, I have something that will tell you kind of what to do so that you can follow along with me a little bit more easily. But if you're on YouTube or watching this video somewhere else, you can do it from any browser window. Now again, I'm in Chrome here, so if you're in Safari or Edge or some other browser, then some of the positions of the buttons that I'll click to get us started here might be a little bit different, but it should be almost entirely the same. And with that, I'm going to make my head a little bit smaller here, and then we'll start clicking through to open up the browser console where we're going to write our first program. So if you wanted to click through and find that console, you can go to the three dots menu, which should be relatively similar for every browser, and then towards the bottom you should see something like tools or more tools or browser tools, and then in here we should have a button that says developer tools or console tools or something like that. Alternatively, you can see there is a hotkey for this, Control-Shift-I, and on Mac that will be Command-Shift-I, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit that. And that will open up this extra kind of pane. And in here, you can see that I have sources, network, performance, memory, and then these two arrows. Now, we want to go to a different tab than those four, which is going to be console. And so if you click on the little arrows or some kind of extension up here, or maybe you already have console showing in these couple of headers, then you should be able to find this console one and open it up. Now, if you're on my website, you should see something similar to this. But what we're going to do here is we are going to write a console.log statement. And this is kind of the most basic thing that we can do in programming. And you'll definitely commonly hear like a hello world program referred to as the first program almost everybody wrote. So in order to write this in our browser window, what we could do is just write console.log inside of this console window. And then we want to have an opening parenthesis and an opening double quote. It could be a single quote actually in JavaScript. It doesn't matter if it's a double or a single. I like to use double where I can. But at any rate, then we could put anything in here. So what I could just put is hello world like that. And then this is kind of like the standard first program that most people wrote. So if you wanted to follow along and say you wrote your first hello world program, people will know what you're talking about, and you have kind of taken that very first step that most people take. You could also write whatever you want in here. You could write your name, you could write anything that you can imagine. And then when we put our closing parenthesis here, then I should be able to just hit enter and run this. Now I could also put a semicolon. In JavaScript, the semicolon isn't as important as it is in other languages, so that part doesn't really matter for what we're doing here. I like to make it a habit to always have the semicolon, so I'll put it here. And then now we have hello world printed out to the console. So that is pretty cool. Now there's a couple of other things that we can talk about as well. Like we could do some simple math in here. Like if I wanted to, I could do something like 4 plus 6, and you can already see the expected output pop up here, which is going to be 10. So it can do any kind of math equation you can think of. We could also console.log a math equation. So I could do something like 2, and then if I wanted to multiply, I would actually use the asterisk or the star right here. So if I wanted to multiply, I would do a star for times, and then I could do something like times 10. And as you might expect, this is going to output 20 to the console, but what it actually returns is undefined, just like it did when we console.logged hello world. So 4 plus 6 returned 10, and in this situation, 2 times 10 was logged to the console, but console.log didn't return anything, which is why we kind of see a slightly different response for these things. And so with that, even though there's so much more that we could learn about right inside of the browser window, we're almost at the 5-minute mark. So I wanted to show you guys another resource you could get to for free, which is actually right inside of my Angular course here. So if you click on the Get Course Discount or on the link below this video, it should take you to this page. There is a spot down here where if you look at the course content and go to JavaScript variables, you'll see these highlighted in purple. These videos you can access for free. You're actually this first video is not a video, it's an article where you can copy and paste this code. You can take this code and copy it into your console window there, and then you can follow along from this variable declaration video, which you can access for free just to get a taste of what you might do next if you wanted to continue learning how to program. So congratulations on taking your very first step and writing your very first Hello World program, and I hope to see you in future videos.